All right. So, welcome to a game night. I'm gonna have my mouse visible through this. I don't know if I'm gonna make a series out of this, but I wanted to play this game because I've played the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney games. Well, Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright, however you pronounce it. But anyway. And I just never had the chance to pick this up until somewhat recently. So I'm gonna at least do the first case. I don't know if this is gonna be a really long video or I'm gonna have to break it up into a couple of different game nights and just have it come out accordingly. But I'm gonna do at least the tutorial case. If it's going to follow any of the previous Phoenix Wright games. Well, Ace Attorney games, similarly. But we'll see. And if you guys want to see more of this, just let me know. So, we'll look into this. Special contents, I won't worry about that. But options, I probably should have looked into this. But I'm going to make sure everything's good. There we go. Alright, we're back. Sorry. I went ahead and changed the resolution so it wasn't tiny on my screen, so I can actually see what we're doing here. Alright. We're gonna select the adventure. Okay. New game. I'll take the mouse off for these cutscenes.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Uh-oh.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
What did you do? Or what did you not do? We'll see. Episode 1. Bienvenue à le Carnival? I don't know. November 22nd, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court, Judicature, Defendant, Antechamber 5. Alright. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be? That's just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber. Is the highest court in Japan waiting to decide my fate? I might have to turn it autoplay off. I don't know. You know what? I am. What? Oh, nothing. Save your clothes, murderer! Sorry. Okay, this guy's... Really? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm not sure if that's correct, the last name there. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Oh, I didn't know who that was. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal, so you will hold your tongue. technicalities, but look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you on how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Yes, of course. Sorry. Jeez. What are you apologizing to me for? No. I suppose it wasn't my fault. We're at a loss here. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by a student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me! I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's... what? I didn't get to finish that. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're gonna get to study abroad at last. I know, it's been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. And I just clicked... Let me fix that. He's a living legend. Like some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean, to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets with Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. And I'm guessing this is where things... It went straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi. Asogi, may I have a word? I figured it was someone older, but hey, here we go. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has a personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. Your advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. All right then. Ryunosuke, I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Alright, who are you? He's not someone of many words. Ugh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Hodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba? Gosh, I'm gonna be butchering these names. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Soki told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Soki has been granted permission to go study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected. You were unaware of this? I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand, once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. Then what happens? You must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Sorry. Court is about to begin! Proceed to the courtroom at once! It seems our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway! Jeez. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with the absolutely no idea of what may lie ahead, I embark on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, a trial that would decide my destiny. "22nd of November, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Oh my gosh. You could tell we're a nervous wreck here. So, this is a courtroom? Oh my gosh. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Oh. Why do you look like Pain? Also, that's a face. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I guess it's intentional that he looks like Pain, but golly. Ouchie? Oh gosh. Instead of being called Pain, he's called Ouchie. Oh no. I might actually continue this regardless. I don't know. This is funny. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant? But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Do we actually just say, hey, you know what? You know what? We'll do it. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who... Yes. Oh, this is gonna be a thing. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear the reason to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is why exactly I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in.
Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly! Oh my gosh, exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought here before the Supreme Court.
Oh my gosh! Why are you a thing?
You must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are nowhere a doubt, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes! Yes, Your Excellency!
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Oh, yes!
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim of this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All relevant information can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of E. Oh, okay. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all there. I just have to press E for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. Alright, they're wanting us to look. Here's a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E. So we got the university pin there and something else. So we'll see what else we got. You'll find the details of the victim here. When you're done, press Z to go back. Tekusuchi Ouchi, 51. The lead prosecutor for the case, who would appear to have little love for the changes of the Cultural Reformation has brought about. No doubt. John H. Wilson, victim of the case, he was visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Alright. So remember, everything has to do with the court. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Okay.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago.
Indeed. Which is the reason why this case has such a profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's foremost valuable foreign ally. And most of you will be aware we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations.
There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. The two of you are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it.
This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter.
In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. For that fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going. Alright, see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did the professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death.
The cause of death. Well, obviously, that was, Ryunosuke? Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death, and then select present. Do it now. The post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m., and that was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body.
Yes!
There we go. Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to a gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report.
Modem.
Mortem, I take it.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, police officers merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. I bet we are.
So this so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime? You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
All right. Photograph of the victim. A photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's the photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
What was that?
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it, then. I think it may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. Then he was speaking with me before... When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? What kind of... What is that? What? Maybe. But any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is... rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. If only you could rein in my crazy headband. Rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oh, this is going to be fun. And then the bellboy.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Sarato Hosonoga. And Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Oh, you're bleeding from the face. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southwestern
What?
southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It has become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants,
And Occidental? I don't think I've ever... That's a weird word.
eatery 3 days ago.
Understood. Asanoga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over. There was only 3 tables still occupied. That fits with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away the crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped over in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on! Let me clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun that I found laying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Wait, what? That was his voice?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize my voice for him was so close.
I believe I asked you to refrain from your petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw you and the chair.
But
The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo.
don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with the gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around at that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was someone else. There was a woman sitting opposite of him at the table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I think we have to wait and see, because I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke. Okay. If your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never got into Yume University otherwise. But you can't always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. Okay, so you do... Yeah, alright, so... At least it wasn't gonna, like, get you in big trouble. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard of the court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, was not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Hasanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of the events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look at it if you'd like to.
Let me see.
Ah, sketch of the establishment. Layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. That's just what you're saying.
Well, you've clearly have a... you're a very conscientious waiter.
Thank you, sir.
You're sus already. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well...
Is there a problem? Hand the plan over to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are.
Uh-huh. What was that about?
He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. The waiter's business card. The restaurant's layout is on the back.
So, the court has now heard a priestess of the case.
Yes. At the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court will be willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be simple to plead guilty at this stage and just hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it. Professor Mikotoba said it, and so the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it?
What?
If the accused is in fact innocent, then defense lawyer is duty bound to prove the innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is.
Indeed. Prosecution ouchie. Please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young could be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I could be a devil when I want to be.
I don't even want to know what that...
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witness at once.
At some point we're gonna... But there's two witnesses. Why is there two?
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir.
The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant A. Snow, sir, reporting for duty, sir.
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquities from the affluence of our nation Nippon, and conduct my trade from Musate, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kiryu Korakuta, at your service.
An antique dealer and a soldier. An unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea in the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-new.
Hold on. Let me turn down my mic just a tad. Oh my gosh. There we go. I'm seeing my waveform be all over the place for my voice, so I'm kind of concerned that I might have to do something. Well, you know what? I'll just worry about that when I actually edit. That way I'm not having to cut the audio somewhere.
And not infrequently converse with the interested parties regarding the curios, that which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at the Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have interest in antiques and tries to sell them his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks like he'd be more of a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir.
This man is impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing he said. So, why is both of them doing this thinking pose? So, this decisive evidence was the prosecution. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimonies, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment of that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir. Standing ready to report, sir.
Huh? Unsavory memories of most acerbic,
Acerbic, oh my gosh, afternoon.